Clickety clack down the tracks. Two Schmoes Show. Yeah, we're back. I got no rhymes to fill out this slot. Uh, but at least this is written by a human and not Cleverbot.
And I'm Chiral, and I'm also a schmo.
And welcome to my weekly humiliation ritual, everybody. Why?
Not weekly.
Bold thing to say after we took 2 weeks off for the holiday.
Yeah.
No, but like, I want to go back to that humiliation ritual as a concept being like put into the public zeitgeist gives me the ick.
Does it?
A little bit, because like, I think it is a strong term for a lot of shit, and it kind of has no meaning whatsoever.
I couldn't actually say the last time I heard like humiliation ritual. You know?
No.
I've heard it in like kink kind of context, of course, but I've never heard it. Someone say they have like a ritual for it.
I swear to God, like I understand there are like king connotations to it. Don't get me wrong, but like I swear it's just like it's something I hear like mentioned in like active conversation, and I'm just like, what the fuck does that even mean in this context? Like, you just feel silly. You feel like a little strange guy. Because I feel that way a lot. That's because I have no fucking shame.
I'm actually pulling this up on Google Trends because I'm curious how it's trended.
Oh, that's actually a pretty good way.
Oh, it's definitely up. Weird. Why? Why did it peak in 2024?
2020, because that was the election. Duh. That was our humiliation.
But it was in February. It was in February. Oh, no, sorry, it was in March. It was in the month of March. It hit its massively, by far, the most searched on Google, at least.
I'm looking up culture from that time. So that's when Dune 2 was out. Kung Fu Panda 4. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Kong Godzilla The New Empire. I don't know.
Very weird.
Megamind Rules.
It has definitely been trending up since 2022, so.
How strange. We live in a strange time. There must have been like a TikTok or something.
Probably.
Yeah. I don't go on that hell app, so like.
No. I did see a really accurate post the other day talking about the people who are like in between millennials and Gen Z and how we kind of get the best of both, but the worst of both. I should find it again. I don't know if I actually reposted or shared it, but it had specifically a point that it mentioned about how we are not on TikTok because of that.
I'll take it. Like, I'm actively convinced TikTok is pretty much like a lobotomy software at this point. Like, go outside. Yeah.
In that same vein, there was a really, I thought, accurate post going around talking about how apparently happiness amongst younger folks is at an all-time low right now, which, yeah. And there was a good follow-up that I saw someone point out for it, talking about how because a lot of people are like, oh, it's the phones or whatever, I guess. That was what they were replying to, talk about how, no, it's not phones, it's the algorithms of everything. And it had me thinking about how it's like, yeah, that is true. How there's all this stuff that is designed to hijack the way that our brains have evolved.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
It's like I don't know. I'm kind of like so jaded with social media online communities because they're all just homogenizing into the same brain dead entity on each platform. I'm not saying like there's the Reddit chud, right? We all know what Redditors are like. And I feel like that kind of like systemic hive mind is developing everywhere online. And I fucking hate that I still feel this impulse in my daily life to pull up my phone and go on those fucking websites, even though I know nothing good is going to come up. And I know it's those fucking algorithms messing with my head.
See, the trick is to get Blue Sky so there's no algorithm and then fill your feed full of so much awful stuff you don't ever want to open it because it just makes you sad.
You know, here's the thing. I do have Blue Sky. I am one of those proud fucks who got in on one of those codes. Thank you again, by the way.
You're very welcome.
And, you know, Blue Sky, I will say, it's not the best app. It's not the best social media. Whoa. So, my cat just tried jumping up on my lap and he took the microphone. Okay?
Well, what does he want to say? Let's hear him out.
Yeah, what do you want to say to the podcast? Huh? Stunning. That's like the best commentary we've ever had on the whole show.
Doesn't get better than that.
Yeah. But no, like, how do I put this? Blue Sky, I do enjoy on a fundamental level of like the pragmatic way it is working. I like the algorithm control. I like how dry it is. It's not easy to use, but hey, it serves a function.
I did see a really good post as well in the same vein that was talking about why Blue Sky still kind of sucks in a lot of ways. And that's because the people who made it never wanted it to be what it is now. It just got very quickly hijacked by a bunch of terminally online furries and queer people. And now they're stuck with tens of thousands of those people as their user base, being the only thing that lets them continue to get venture capital money in. So they don't want to make it better for their users because they actively hate their users. But at the same time, they can't make it so bad that the users leave because then they stop, having this extremely cushy job where they basically do nothing all day.
You know, it is one of those things where I go on Blue Sky and I realize I'm a vast majority on there.
Oh, yeah. It's extremely biased to a particular perspective.
I'm sorry, I didn't say majority. I didn't mean majority. I mean minority. It feels to me like it is this weird hybrid of like Tumblr and Twitter, but like old Twitter before the Nazi invasion.
I think it has a similar vibe to that.
Yeah.
It requires a bit of self-curation. You got to build it yourself to a degree, but you can get pretty close to that. There's a lot of really good memes going around. I did find the one that I was talking about, though. So proposing a generation between millennials and Zoomers, roughly 95 to 2000, where Zoomers hate you and millennials are too tired to even begin to offer you any advice. I'm calling it Generation Fucked. You may be part of Generation Fucked if you were taught cursive, but it was shortly after cut from the curriculum, had VHS cassettes and CDs side by side, vaguely remember seeing payphones but never using one, face deep existential dread every day, and don't have TikTok.
I remember that as a very ancient meme.
Yeah, from 2019. That's been the trend that's been going around, though, is that somebody just randomly was like, hey, what's your favorite tweet of all time? And people have been talking about their favorite tweets, which has been kind of great. It's been a nice change of pace.
Notice how Elon's never on that list, by the way.
Oh, God, no. He's terrible at posting, ironically.
Concerning. Interesting. Rocket emoji. It's like, bro, I know you just go on Twitter when you're like ketamine, like when you're on ketamine, but like at least offer something to the conversation. Or just shut the fuck up.
But that's not his job. His job is to retweet blatant racism.
Well, he's South African. He can't help it. He's South African. He can't. His special interest is being racist.
Apparently.
You know, okay. We talked about this on the show a little bit before the show about like how the narrative on Israel and Palestine kind of shifted a little bit after the October attacks back a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Those same people who started getting really passionate about Israel and Palestine around that time, I cannot wait for their commentary on South Africa.
Mm. I do think that where did I see that? I could have sworn I saw one of them confronted with that, where they were like, Israel's not doing apartheid. And that person got into this debate and basically had to admit that South Africa didn't do apartheid because of the way they tried to define it.
That's beautiful, man. Like, I can't get over that. Where were we in actual news going on right now?
I don't think we got there yet.
No, because we just been shooting the shit.
Yeah. Where to start? There's been a couple of big things, right? I feel like apart from, the will they, won't they in Iran, we'll get to that. In the US, I feel like the big one that we had over the last couple of weeks was the birthright citizenship Supreme Court arguments that we had happen about 2 weeks ago. This is the kind of thing where it should be insanely open and shut. It's like, what does the 14th Amendment say? And there's not a debate on that. There has not been a debate on that in, I think, almost exactly 100 years or something. Other than like overt racists who want the 14th Amendment changed so that they can exact their racism.
The 14th Amendment is like one of the few amendments, I think, you take it out of the Constitution, and immediately the country no longer works.
I completely agree.
Like, I know racists think birthright citizenship is a problem. Everyone here has birthright citizenship by default. Unless you are on a fucking reservation. Get the fuck out of here.
That was my favorite part. There was an incredible moment where that question came up, and Neil Gorsuch, who is like legal expert on Native American rights and how they interact with the Constitution, that kind of stuff, said, "Do you think Native Americans are birthright citizenships under your test?" Asking the government representative. And he says, I think so. I have to think through that. Like, dude, you know your audience. How do you not have an answer for this that is anything other than no?
That's so fucked up.
As a reminder for the folks at home, the 14th Amendment is extremely simple. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. End of sentence.
And here's the best thing about that, right? Because like I know a lot of people can hear that and think like border jumpers like coming over and making birthright citizenship babies. Think about this economically. It's a free, infinite money glitch.
Yeah, your counterpoint, good.
Yeah, like this is
that's
what
a benefit.
When I say this country can't work without the 14th Amendment, infinite money glitch right there, easy as that. It took 14 tries, but we got there.
Yeah, it's incredibly wild, and the real cherry on top that I loved seeing pointed out, because Trump posted about it, of course, quote, "Birthright citizenship has to do with the babies of slaves, not Chinese billionaires who have 56 kids, all of whom become American citizens. One of the many great scams of our time." Signed, President Donald J. Trump, of course. And as a reminder, this is the guy that was selling $1 million gold card citizenships.
This is the guy who's like always bitching about China, right? And all of a sudden he's like, I don't want the Chinese money to come invade my pure fucking country.
Like, he's literally selling citizenship to billionaires.
Yeah.
And he's trying to pull this shit. It's absurd. These are not serious people.
No, he's a fucking salesman. He's not even a good one. Mark my words, Cairo.
Yeah. I'm marking them. I'm ready. I got the pen out.
One day, we will see the Donald J. Trump vacuum. And it will be
I think we're going to see it quicker than I expected. I've had we'll get to that when we start talking about Iran. I think I mentioned it to you in the chat earlier, but I think we're going to get to that part a lot quicker than I expected. And it's going to be a fascinating moment.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, right now, based on the arguments, somehow looks like Supreme Court is going to be ruling 7-2, preserving birthright citizenship as it exists today. There was a really good moment and a good example of a time when, if you're before the Supreme Court and one of the justices makes the gallery laugh, you know you're fucked. Like, I can't imagine a more devastating sequence of events other than having, because the specific instance was, I think, Kavanaugh was like, if we agree with your side, speaking to the people defending birthright citizenship, if we agree with your side, could we make this like a one sentence thing and be done with it? To which the person just replied, yeah, I guess. And then everybody just starts laughing. Because it's just like, if your entire argument, the entire position of the government can be beaten by a single sentence, you're done. You're cooked. There's no coming back.
Why are they even... Well, I know why they're targeting birthright citizen. It's so they can have like the $1 million cards. It's like a Costco membership.
Yeah. Also, they're really racist. Because that's the big thing, right? They have all of these quotas that they're trying to meet that Stephen Miller wants done. They still have all of that shit. ICE is still a thing that exists, and they're still terrorizing minorities across the United States. But they are genuinely running out of people to deport, even by vaguely legal means. So they're trying to create new ways to find deportable people. They want to take people who are citizens, strip them of their citizenship by legal decree, by judicial decree, so that they can then go find those people because they know where all of them live because they're citizens and they pay taxes and shit, and then deport them.
But what happened to the tax money? Where's my glorious taxes coming from?
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
By and large, even illegal immigrants, because they can't get, funds from the government, because that would then show that they're not in the country legally. They still pay taxes, though, because it comes out of their paychecks by default.
Is universal.
Yeah. So overwhelmingly, illegal immigrants pay more in taxes than they get from them in public services.
It's almost like that's another infinite money glitch.
It's really dumb. It's so dumb. But these are not rational people. These are virulent racists, right?
I suppose.
So,
I mean, they could be better at racism, but,
I agree, but I'm never going to point it out to them because...
Oh, I'm not saying how they can be better.
Yeah, if your enemy's making a mistake, right?
Oh, yeah. No, keep it up. Like, don't with more frivolous lawsuits.
Mm-hmm. We're saying, though, they are certainly not doing nothing. I know we both know that, but it is really terrifying out there for a lot of people.
Yeah. Like, I think we both come from a point of privilege. Like, if
Absolutely.
you look at us, we aren't easy to identify for those kind of things. Not to mention...
Moving from there.
Are we technically white collar?
I I literally am because I wear a lab coat.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am, yes. Begrudgingly.
I think I'm 10.
It's tricky. And that's the thing, right? Is that those white collar, blue collar groupings, they don't work anymore because the middle class is dead.
Yeah.
Neither of us are middle class. We're getting by. We're doing better than average, I'd say, probably. But
we don't have student loans. Of course, we're doing better than average.
Yeah, like the middle class, the literal middle of the pay band is so far detached from the higher end of it that it's basically meaningless at this point.
It's really just
from the conventional idea, at least, of what the middle class was.
So, by the definition, you and I are both white collar.
I think that's safe to say.
Yeah.
You know, the way that I look about it, right, is that you have to look back to where the term came from. Yeah. If we were working our jobs today, back in 1960, 1970, would we be wearing a collared shirt to work? Yes.
I have to, too.
Yeah. I absolutely would be. That's just the dress code of the time. Whereas blue collar was manufacturing because you're wearing your blue work jumpsuit or your uniform.
Damn.
So,
you know, I think,
and it's a bit of a misnomer these days too, because the gap between like manufacturing and, you know, office jobs in terms of like pay and benefits has really not kept apart. It's caught up quite a lot.
Yeah, which is good for factory workers.
Absolutely is.
The actual trades, they deserve it.
Turns out unions work. Who would have known?
Yeah. I just kind of had like a big what up quake in my mind. Epiphany, if you will. I am the first person in my family since coming over to have a white collar job. That's a little freaky.
Interesting.
I'm also first generation college, so I think that kind of goes hand in hand.
That definitely gives a big leg up, for sure. For sure.
This was all about birthright citizenship, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about moon stuff, though.
Moon stuff. Oh, shit. I forgot about the fucking moon.
Yeah, it's still up there. What do you know? We got pictures and everything to prove it.
Where does it even go during the day? Did they figure that out?
They're still working on it. That's why they call it the dark side.
Oh my god.
That's why we got to send someone up there so we can see what happens when it goes to the dark side.
Well, if they can't fucking figure it out like from one trip, why are we paying this much in taxes?
You know, you got a good point. Let's gut NASA.
Let's gut NASA.
Oh, what's that? They're already doing that? Good. Yeah. So, Artemis mission. Artemis 2 is the first, what is it? It's the first human mission that went beyond low orbit, I think, was the sort of criteria, since the 70s. Kind of huge.
Yeah.
Furthest a human has ever gone away from Earth.
Eat your heart out, Elon.
I mean, that's pretty fucking cool. I've really enjoyed seeing the pictures that we've started to get back. It is really, really cool to have some of these pictures coming in. And like, we've had really good pictures from space before because, you know, you can put a camera on a robot and shoot it out there. But there's something about seeing some of these pictures being taken by, that you know was taken by a person, right?
Yeah.
Like the Earth set. So fucking cool.
It doesn't even look real, and it's kind of shocking, right?
Well, yeah. I watched Hank Green. Shout out to Hank Green. Does a lot of good stuff. He put out a video talking about why it doesn't look real and what some of these pictures actually mean and how cool they are once you understand more about what's being shown here. Part of the reason that it doesn't look real is because the moon has such little atmosphere. There's no light diffusion, no light distortion. It's all just perfectly crystal clear.
Actually, where's the light source supposed to be in this shot? I'm seeing a flat lighting on the moon, but the Earth is lit from the back, rim lighting style. I went to film school. I know this shit.
That was one of the funny things. Was I don't have that picture handy, but there was another picture coming out that it was the solar eclipse that they witnessed, which I thought was, as just like a matter of chance, was incredible, because this was not their first launch date, and there was a chance that this wouldn't be the actual launch date. So the fact that the mission was delayed to here but not delayed further let them be in the right position to see a solar eclipse in space, which is really fucking cool. And they got some incredible pictures of it. But you can see, even though the sun is literally behind the moon, the face of the moon that's facing them still has some illumination on it. And there were people who were unironically being like, well, obviously it's fake then. Wouldn't be able to see the moon because the sun's behind it. And people, I'm sure, people are allowed to be ignorant and stupid and wrong. But I think it's so much cooler that the truth of that is that is the light reflecting from the sun off of the Earth and then back onto the moon. That is the Earth illuminating the moon in a way that we never see from Earth.
Actually, the Earth takes in all light and it doesn't reflect anything back. That's a major misconception. We are not.
That's why when we look around, it's pitch black all the time everywhere, and we can't see anything.
No, it's because the sun rays hit us.
So we're pitch black, and nobody can see each other.
Yes. That's why I don't make eye contact.
I'm glad we have that cleared up.
With the workers at McDonald's.
You know what? I believe that.
Jesus.
I don't know. But I just, do you know where the name Earthset comes from?
No, actually I do not.
So back in 1972 on the Apollo 17 mission, by coincidence, they got this incredible shot of the Earth rising over the moon as they were going around on their mission, as they were taking off. And the picture of the Earth rising above the moon is called Earthrise. In this case, because of the different direction that they're going, the Earth is setting behind the moon, going down away from them. And so this shot is Earthset. So we have Earthrise and Earthset. The same way that we would on Earth, we would have Moonrise and Moonset, or Sunrise and Sunset.
Nerdy
it's very neat, isn't it? I love it. I love it so much. There's two moments that I wanted to bring up, because like they touched down day before yesterday, everyone's safe, mission's all good, everything's accomplished, did a hell of a job. But there was two moments that I wanted to bring up that I thought were hilarious. One was shortly after launch. They were talking with people at Mission Control because they were having problems with their computers. Windows was fucking up. And there's this great quote from one of them reporting back to Mission Control that says, quote, "I have 2 Microsoft Outlooks and neither one of those are working."
What could be more damning for your brand? Microsoft or I have 2 Microsoft Offices and neither of them are working.
And at the same time, everybody who has to use Microsoft tools for their job just immediately understands.
Oh, totally.
It's like, yeah, I get you. You are all of us right now, even if you're an astronaut. The other moment that I loved is that when they're first up in space and they're getting set up with their cameras, Christina, astronaut, goes to take the battery out of the bottom of one of them to swap it for another one. And they're in space for the first time. They're just not really, thinking about the no gravity thing. If you've ever pulled a camera out of a battery, they're spring loaded. So when you open up the camera bottom, the battery sort of pops up a little bit so you can pull it out. Nobody would really give that a second thought, and they didn't either, because she goes to open the camera like anybody would, and the battery shoots out of it under the spring tension and goes bouncing around the inside.
That's fucked up.
It's hilarious. It's just so human, right?
They don't teach you that in astronaut school? What the fuck?
Apparently not. Apparently not. I think that's the thing that has been the most surprising for me is that with all of the awful things going on, the Artemis mission is such an easy chance for the current administration to just get slam dunk after slam dunk, just easy layups day after day after day. And they didn't do it once. They didn't take advantage of that a single time. It wouldn't be deserved, of course. It's not like they started this year. It's been going on for ages, but still.
Kyril, I have bad news.
What's up?
It's because it's not their target audience.
Who cares?
Fair.
Let it stroke Trump's ego. That's all he cares about. That's what I don't get. Even if it's not, they don't care about that.
Yo, if
they just want the credit.
If I was God King Donald, I would fucking add Conqueror of the Moon to my presidential title.
Right?
Yeah. Like,
do you not want that? What the hell?
Kennedy got us to the moon, right? So like, if you're so obsessed with putting your name on the same building as him, at least one off the guy.
Maybe I'm misremembering, but I could have sworn that Trump was one of the ones who was pushing for this in his first term.
Yeah, but that was like a million years ago in Donald time.
Yeah, Space Policy Directive 1 in 2017.
A million years ago in Donnie time.
Let's actually do this a different way. When did the Artemis missions start? No, that's the launch date. I don't want the uncrewed flight test. I want to know when it actually started. Like, when did it really get going? Even Wikipedia is kind of cagey about it. Artemis program is a moon exploration program led by the United States, NASA, aimed at returning humans to the moon for the first time since Apollo 17 in 1972. It was formally established by Space Policy Directive 1 in 2017. This is his thing. Like, genuinely, we're doing this in large part. He probably only had a literal hand in signing the thing that was shoved in front of him, but still, that's not nothing. And he's out being racist against the Somali immigrants instead of being like, yeah, look at my thing that I did. I just sent those fuckers up there. It's weird.
Impressed.
Maybe that's the thing, isn't it? He's just that humble.
God King Donnie Trump is fucking humble?
Mm-hmm. That's the only solution. That's the only answer.
If he's not going to take the Moon Conqueror title, I think I'm going to just help myself to it. It's like when you're at a party and no one's like getting chips and dip and you just want to eat the dip yourself.
Anyways, Artemis is cool.
Artemis is pretty cool.
There was a good post that I saw about it this morning talking about it was like Moonjoy or something. I didn't read through the whole thing, but it's just like this idea that being happy about the Artemis stuff is not just okay, but good and necessary, and how this doesn't need to be a one-off. Public service and public life is a gift and something to treasure. The uncommon chance to do something for a cause bigger than yourself. It's like, yeah, true. This is the way that all of our public services should be. That should make all of us feel. People giving themselves to something bigger than themselves. That's cool as hell.
I'm just going to say it because apparently this is allowed, according to the Supreme Court. I'm making a very obtuse joke to Biden's student loan forgiveness case. This is where my tax dollars went specifically.
I paid for that.
I paid for that. I'm not paying for your student loans. I paid for that. God. You know, Andy Weir kind of wishes he could write something like that.
Mm.
Spoilers for later in the show.
What else did we have this week? Oh, okay. We'll do this one real quick because it'll be relatively quick. We're on Schism Watch.
What the fuck is Schism Watch?
We're the next schism in the Catholic Church.
Oh, fuck. You mean that?
Yeah, we're on Schism Watch.
Okay. Hear me out, right?
The
next schism. It's going to be at such a point where it's going to be so small at first, I honestly believe we'll get Catholic Mormons. They'll be assimilated into Mormonism.
You know, it's weird because I have started to see an inordinate amount of like actual, not quite debate, but knowledgeable people sharing their knowledge, I guess is the best way to put it, as these things have been unfolding, right? And it's kind of weird how there already is a Catholic sect in the United States ready to tell the Pope to kick rocks and make their own Pope. But apparently the number one reason why they haven't done that yet is that the Catholic Church has a fuckload of money and they don't. And they need the money.
Well, they just gotta conquer a couple of like small eastern villages first, and then they'll get the start of capital they need.
Eastern villages like Raleigh, North Carolina.
No. I hate you for having a specific name for a place that's on Schism Watch. Okay, so
yeah.
I know
what's
Schism
up?
Watch has been ongoing right now, right?
Mm.
What did Leo do to piss him off?
It's let me see if I can find it. It's been going around. Like the real answer is literally nothing.
I was about to say
is the weird thing. He put out a couple of posts. What was because there was a thing before then. There was a really weird sequence where it was like, what the hell is his name? Cardinal Christophe Pierre is an ambassador between the Vatican and the US, from what I understand. I hope I'm getting names and positions right, but that's the gist. And he was in conversations with American Catholics in the White House where there was some sort of ultimatum proposed. It's really weird and dumb is the thing. And we don't 100% know what happened because it was behind closed doors. But we do know enough that whatever it was apparently bad enough for the Pope to intentionally change their plans for July 4th, specifically so that they wouldn't be able to be in the US, so that they could get out of a prior commitment in the US.
What the fuck were they planning for the Pope on July 4th?
I don't think it was literally anything. It was just like he was going to be here for some of the 4th of July celebrations. And then, let me see this. According to both Vatican and U.S. officials briefed on the meeting, Pentagon brass picked apart the Pontiff's Pope's January speech, reading it as a hostile message directed at Trump's policies. What particularly enraged the Pentagon, one Vatican official said, was the passage in which Leo appeared to challenge the Don Roe Doctrine, Trump's update of the Monroe Doctrine, which asserts unchallenged American dominion over the Western Hemisphere. In his speech, the Pope declared, quote, a diplomacy that promotes dialogue and seeks consensus among all parties is being replaced by a diplomacy based on force by either individuals or groups of allies. And the real kicker...
I'm going to be so happy.
So the real kicker is that, quote, at one point in the meeting, the report said, one U.S. official made mention of the Avignon papacy of the 14th century. During this time, the French crown used its military power to influence the papacy. And that is where a lot of this has been happening, because the current Catholic Church does not like the Avignon papacy at all. That was when a group of actual Catholic cardinals that were from France decided, we don't want to go to Rome anymore. We don't want to go to Vatican City anymore. Italy's kind of shitty and you've got this whole disease thing going on. So we're just going to stay here in France and we're going to make our own pope. And it went back and forth with like, okay, whose pope is the real pope for like 100 years. And it was weird and it was dumb. So anybody bringing it up again at this point is immediately obvious what they're trying to do, what they're trying to imply.
Do you think it's going to be JD?
No. Like, part of this talk has also been around about how much this is like the exact stereotypes that people make about adult Catholic converts and how dumb and weird those people are and how little they actually seem to care about the Pope part, the Catholicism part of Roman Catholic Church.
Mm. They like it for the aesthetic. They're LARPing.
It's weird. It kind of feels that way. Yeah. Like they want the Crusades robes and then just none of the rest of it.
They don't want to submit to an earthly bodily authority that's supposed to represent, the I'm not even Catholic, and like I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I don't fucking get it. I don't get it.
So here's the big thing with the whole July 4th thing, though. There is a small island in the Mediterranean called Lampedusa. It's Italian. Pope Francis's first official papal visit outside of Rome was on July 8th, 2013 to Lampedusa. So for Pope Leo, who is doing a bunch of Italian pastoral visits in July, it would make a ton of sense to go to Lampedusa on July 8th, the anniversary of the previous Pope's first visit there. Yeah. Instead, they specifically chose July 4th to make that visit. And they apparently made it explicitly clear to people in the government who were asking for the Pope to be in the U.S. for some parts of these 250th celebration things on July 4th. They were explicit, like insultingly clear that was the reason why they would not be in the U.S. at that time.
The girls are fighting.
This is a quote, or this is shit, I lost the word. This is a person on Blue Sky giving their summary of the events. It seems clear that Pierre called his boss the minute he got out of the Pentagon meeting, and Leo did not take it well because he, the only pope in history who has ever been to a 4th of July barbecue, declined a direct invite from the White House to be a VIP guest at the America 250 shindig.
It is kind of fucked up. We lost the first American Pope on our fucking birthday.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Schism Watch 2.0. We'll keep an eye out for the next of our Martin Luther of our time, and they will probably be stupider by a lot. But
it'll probably be a mess.
It'll be funny the whole time. So you know who? Oh, what the hell was his name? I'm not going to say my search out loud because it would not be well, but it's probably going to find what I am looking for. Mel Gibson. Apparently, Mel Gibson is one of the guys involved with this particular religious division. He's like technically Catholic, but is part of this weird sect that is kind of leaning towards no longer being Catholic. And a lot of the only reason that they are able to do that is because Mel Gibson has a shitload of money, is what I understand.
Okay, I don't think I don't. I'm just gonna shut my fucking mouth. I'm sorry.
I do want to. I will say now because I do think it's very funny. I forgot Mel Gibson's name, and I was able to find it again by doing a Google search for actor who hates Jewish people. He's top of the list.
That's so fucking funny.
Mm-hmm. Any more for the papacy? Any more to add? Or are we good to keep sliding on?
I'm not a Catholic, right?
Yeah. Big news.
Yeah, but I can't believe I'm fucking siding with the Catholic Church on something like this.
Right. I saw a post that was almost exactly like that too, where it was the whole go back in time to talk to your younger self thing. It's like, hey, guess what? There's a big fight between the government and talking to like their atheist self. Like, there's a big fight between the government and the Pope right now. I'm like, oh wow, so we're on the side of the government? Well, you're not going to believe this.
You have to fuck up a lot for me to pick the fucking Catholic Church over you. I'm not even like a anti-Catholic guy. I just don't like the authority it consolidates.
Yeah.
And then somehow you did more than that in the land of the free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most religions have some problems to them.
Oh yeah, of course. Nobody's perfect.
Nope. So, next up, Melania Trump had a weird press conference this week.
Dude, that was so fucking weird.
Seemingly out of nowhere, she decided that it was time to have a press conference to talk about how she definitely doesn't have any ties to Jeffrey Epstein and nor Ghislaine Maxwell. So
like,
thankfully, we have that clear now. That Melania Trump does not have any ties to Jeffrey Epstein. So much so that she had to make a press conference about it.
So what leaked?
That's the question. I've heard some pretty good speculation on that. One of them is that they were asked for a comment for an upcoming story and panicked and did this. Another one being that maybe Pam Bondi is feeling a bit disgruntled now that she's been fired and is getting ready to talk to somebody. As far as I know, nothing has actually come out yet other than, excuse me, there was a video on YouTube that was talking about a bunch of information that was already entirely publicly known stuff. Just like compiling a couple of interviews together, and maybe that's what it's related to, but it seems really weird to go to all of this stuff to try and disavow this video that makes basically no extreme claims. Very weird stuff. Especially when this is a word from it, right? This is verbatim. The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. What lies?
Yeah, like...
What's going on here, girl? What's going on?
Was it because the reviews from your movie said it was worse than Epstein?
Very bizarre. As far as I can tell, at least I have not seen anybody that actually knows what the hell is up. So we'll have to wait and see. Monday might be fun.
I'm excited. I think this is going to be fun.
Would you like to do a bit of a rapid fire before we get into Iran?
Oh, fuck yeah, it hit me.
Why isn't Google? Oh, come on. Why isn't Google just working? Just give me your tracker. Thank you, Google. So, quick rapid fire. Apparently, Fox put out a documentary about the fertility rate plummeting, and there's a quote from it that's been going around, quote, "The problem is teens and young adults aged 15 to 19. The fertility rate is down 7%, and it's down 70% over the last 2 decades, meaning we're telling people that are young not to have babies, to wait until they're in a more stable life situation." And given the context of this, that U.S. birth rates are hitting record lows and that's a problem, it's kind of a weird thing to say. There's not a whole lot to go through of this. Something like half of babies born to teenage girls are by adult fathers, which is not great. And I think you could probably argue that fewer teenagers getting pregnant is probably a good thing. But, you know, Fox News, that's their jam.
I'm just thinking. Just gross. It's just gross. Gross.
Yeah, it's very gross. So we just leave it at that. Microsoft has started removing, quote, unnecessary Copilot buttons from Windows 11 apps. The notable one that I saw was that apparently the Copilot button has been removed from Notepad. Which, yeah, good. Yeah.
Learning to code, I always wondered what the fuck the Copilot button was supposed to do in Notepad of all things.
Yeah. It's same as what it's supposed to do in the Paint app, I imagine.
I'm sorry, but if your ass is going to Microsoft Paint to make something, and you instead just go to fucking AI generated images, you are already a lost cause.
Absolutely. Former New York City Mayor Eric Adams has obtained Albanian citizenship.
I'm so proud. Why the
fuck? Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. Why?
How does one get Albanian citizenship?
So that's the kind of neat thing, is that apparently the way that he got it was just by a literal declaration from their president. I don't know what system of government they actually have, but he's described as a president.
Yeah, apparently, according to this, you can just get it through economic merit.
Wait, actual breaking news? Viktor Orban has conceded defeat in the Hungary election.
What?
Good fucking riddance.
How did he do what? What?
You know what it is?
What?
JD Vance gave a speech there.
You're fucking with me.
No, right. Like 4 days ago, JD Vance was in Hungary and he gave a speech in support of Orban, and here we are.
But Orban's a fascist. He shouldn't give up.
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing, right? He is, but Hungary's government is like, take the gerrymandering that the US has and make it, 10 times worse. They have been, popularly unpopular for cycles and cycles of elections already. And their government, their voting system was just so fucked by design when Orban and his people took power when they did, that they've just never been able to stop that from perpetuating. And he's just been able to keep getting reelected and reelected. So, like, actually huge that they just literally out mobilized the fascist assholes.
That is gotta scare Donnie right now.
I hope so. He should be shitting himself.
Like, I refuse to believe what you told me is real. I'm hoping it's real.
Francis Macron has congratulated Magyar on election win. Hails the victory of democracy and of the Hungarian people's attachment to the values of the European Union and for Hungary's place in Europe. Together, let us advance a more sovereign Europe for the security of our continent, our competitiveness, and our democracy.
Oh my fucking God, it's real.
Hell yes. In a brief speech, Orban says the election result is painful for us, but clear.
Bro is trying to book it out of there fast.
Oh yeah, he's already out of the country.
Yeah, JD. Thank you for your service. I don't know what it is with you killing like leadership wherever you go, but thank you for your service. You unlikable, pathetic beard attached to a fucking chipmunk.
We don't have the total votes in yet, but there is, what was this? 30 minutes ago, nearly half counted. The opposition party was already past what they needed to secure a minimum 2/3 majority in the parliament.
Okay, I think actually this might be a little weird because we never really talked about Oberon on this fucking show.
Why? Yeah, because he's a weird little piece of shit. Because, okay, so the big thing with Orban is that he has been a bit of a blueprint for the way that U.S. conservatives have been trying to build their own systems of government.
Yes.
The way that he aggressively both gerrymandered his country and then changed their laws in order to secure their power, to make sure that they needed like a 2/3 majority to get to the point where he's kicked out of power. Now that that has happened, has been a decades in the making thing to undo what has happened. And we'll have to wait and see what happens in Hungary if they try to, undo some of these very clearly undemocratic laws that were put in the books. But that has made Orban and his system of government very appealing to the American right, because they want that. They want to be able to make the American government so broken, so unfunctional, that they don't even have to worry about the consequences from their lying and their cheating and their racism. They just get their elections given to them on a platter.
Donnie is shitting himself. And then he just heard about what happened in Hungary.
Yeah. And it's especially notable that, literally days ago, we had J.D. Vance in Hungary stumping for Orban. We had Trump posting about it, that they're going to give Hungary some sort of financial, some sort of economic advantages if Orban wins. Shit like that. And it's not enough. It's a consistent trend that we've been seeing, is that, these people's words are not worth shit.
Well, I am happy for the people of Hungary. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
I truly thought that man was going to stay in there until he died.
keep going with the news roundup?
Yeah, I was about to say, we've been at it for a while now. Holy shit.
Yeah. Last quick piece that I have here is that we'll see how this spins out. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets turned around here pretty quick. But apparently, there was an announcement that China is going to be stopping sulfuric acid exports starting in May.
Why?
Politics, economics.
Okay.
Sulfuric acid is used in a lot of things in manufacturing. Particularly, it's used in fertilizer. So, not much to say there, but if that goes through, that's bad. That's really, really bad.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, let's talk about Iran.
What's there to talk about?
So, well, quite a lot, actually. I'm going to rapid fire it, though. The big things that we've had happen since we were last here, an F-15 was shot down.
Yep.
One of its pilots was immediately rescued. One of the other ones was missing for 2 days and then rescued, and they were both fine. An A-10 Warthog was shot down. Pilot was okay. Plane crashed. Not a whole lot there. 2 helicopters, as part of the search and rescue of those, were shot down by Iran. So, pretty explicitly one of the worst days for the U.S. Air Force in decades, at least. A very long time. I think this is the first F-15 ever shot down in combat. For perspective. And we've had the F-15 since, like, Vietnam. So, after that, we had a ceasefire declared on, what day was that? On Tuesday. Ceasefire on Tuesday. I've been really frustrated by this. By not just, like, the obvious, like, lies that it all is, but how many people are, like, believing them. It's weird how little the supposed experts are taking the people involved in these situations at their word. You know?
Yeah.
But we had a ceasefire announced on Tuesday, and then pretty much immediately it came out that the terms of the ceasefire that the US and Pakistan had declared were different than the terms of the ceasefire that Iran had published, where Iran had something extra and Pakistan had something different, and the US was missing both of those things in their version of it. And then regardless, Israel started bombing Lebanon anyways, which was one of the terms of the agreement. So good job, BB. You're you still, that's for sure. To say that this ceasefire has been tenuous to this point, it feels like an understatement, right? We had a contingent of U.S. representatives in Islamabad on Friday, meeting with their Iranian counterparts. And I got to find the JD Vance quote because it's just too funny. One sec. Quote, Vice President, the bad news is that we have not reached an agreement. We go back to the United States having not come to an agreement. Good job, James. You really won that one. It's so dumb. And who would have expected anything else, right? JD Vance is not good at his job. He is a sycophant and a yes man who is interested in political power before any of his actual opinions. We also had fucking Jared Kushner, who is still getting paid millions of dollars by the Saudis, who don't want this war to end because it's made their oil really fucking valuable.
You know, I think it's kind of funny. It's just the idea that they sent JD, of all people, because Donnie wanted to go to a UFC fight.
It was very funny because that was at the same time, right? JD Vance is making the statement that we don't have a ceasefire agreement. We're going to have to figure this out yet, but we don't have one yet. At the same time, Trump's at the fucking fight.
Dude, like, the funniest thing to me right now, right, is that the only person that Donnie has proven he likes anymore is Dana White, the head of the UFC. And it's like only because Dana White is also just an ass kicking yes man, but he also just has all that macho bravado that Donnie likes.
100%. Today, we got the real cherry on top of everything, where we had an announcement from President Trump. Effective immediately, the U.S. will start to blockade all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz. Let's see if there's been any updates here. I kind of doubt it.
I think I read something about them trying to clear out the mines.
I tried to find that, and I couldn't find it.
I've only saw it once. I've been like...
Trump says the UK is sending minesweepers.
Okay.
That's the only mention of it that I can find, is that apparently the United Kingdom is sending minesweepers. But as far as I can tell, there was no mention of minesweepers as part of this blockade.
Okay.
U.S. President, this is from AP News. U.S. President Donald Trump on Sunday said the U.S. Navy would immediately begin a blockade to stop ships from entering or leaving the Strait of Hormuz after U.S. and Iran peace talks in Pakistan ended without an agreement. Iran has demanded the right to collect tolls from vessels traveling through the strait. Trump said no one who paid them would have safe passage on the high seas. So, like, I heard something about that as well when I heard this news earlier today, and I tried to verify it then, and I couldn't find anything related to that. And I'm reading through it again now, and I'm still not finding anything that explicitly ties we're doing a blockade to we want to get these minesweepers in to clear the strait. Because there is still the problem of, like, okay, you can put the minesweeper in. If you don't have a ceasefire, your boat's just going to get shot at.
Yeah. Or, you know, the worst case scenario is that you clean out the mines, then your boat gets shot at. You gave Iran a whole bunch of free labor.
Mm-hmm. It is very, very weird. It's not even weird. It's just... I don't know. And that's the thing that frustrates me, right? Is that we had this announcement about the ceasefire on Tuesday. And by all accounts, if you look at it, it was pretty obvious that there wasn't actually a ceasefire. There was just like a loose framework of what each side wanted. And those things were different, which means you don't have a ceasefire. There's no agreement to stop shooting at each other.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of it for Iran. Like, there's been other things. That's the broad strokes. Some planes got shot down. Now we're on a blockade.
You want to talk about movies?
I would love to talk about movies.
Mario sucks ass.
I actually wanted to read a post I saw on this first. It's kind of funny that movie critics have to review the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Do architecture critics have to write about the ball pit in a McDonald's play place?
That is absolutely beautiful.
It is. But at the same time, that's kind of important, though, you know? Like, we do let adults make sure that the McDonald's play place is actually good for kids to play in. Yeah. We don't just leave it up to the parents or the company to decide what's safe for the kids or not. We have people who are experts in this shit who go like, yeah, this is probably good or this is probably bad. So the whole debate around this has been, I think, dumber than anything else, than any of the actual words being said about it.
I am of the opinion that people who dislike this movie are fair to dislike it, right? But they're not exactly making the statement that they think they're making by being so anti against it.
Like, it's an Illumination movie. It's gonna be kind of shit.
It has a lot of flaws. It's really pretty, though. It's a really pretty movie.
I'm sure it looks fine.
The fiance and I went to it because we love watching animation on the big screen. and like I just remember her turning to me like after like the first bit of credits, and then she just says to me is like, "Why did we come here again?"
I'll say the first news that I heard about it is apparently how the various fandoms and fan fictions of the world immediately collapsed at the news that Peach and Rosalina are canonically sisters.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Especially because apparently it was implied before that there was like a mother-daughter thing there.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the discussion over the Mario movie to Galaxy Boogaloo is more interesting than the movie itself.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a
probably.
test.
I've certainly heard more about it.
Yeah. Have you heard about the fucking disaster that is the end credit scene?
No.
Oh my god.
Why is there an end credit scene for the Super Mario Galaxy movie?
For Super Mario 3. It's bad.
What happens?
Daisy shows up for like 3 frames, and she doesn't even say a word like "Hi, I'm Daisy." It's just "Hi," gone.
What are we doing?
It's like a parody of those fucking Marvel MCU credits that they used to do.
Mm-hmm. It would have been really funny if it was like cut off before she even actually finished the word.
She didn't say anything in it, actually. It's like other characters saying hi to her, and then she doesn't even say anything.
I would love to see just like the YouTube poop version of it, where it's just Daisy appears for 3 frames and says, "Ha!" and it just cuts to black.
That they played the old GameCube like sound bites, like the crusty ass compressed audio.
Yeah.
What else came out? Because it's not much else to talk about.
Didn't come out, but I saw Project Hail Mary.
How was it?
Ryan Gosling is incredible. I think we already knew that, though.
I know he's incredible. I know he's a very good actor. I respect him. I just need a break from him at the moment.
Really?
Yeah, I know. It's a weird thing. I've never had this feeling before. But like,
what was the last thing you saw him in?
Probably Barbie.
Barbie? Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That was 3 years ago.
That too.
That was 3 years ago.
I've probably seen Barbie like 8 times. Just throwing.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. That's your own fault then.
It is a little bit my own fault. But in my defense, my fiance likes that movie.
In her defense, that's a pretty good movie.
It is a pretty good movie.
Yeah. I don't know. I really enjoy basically all of the Ryan Gosling movies I've ever seen, I think. Like Project Hail Mary, it's basically, 2 hours of him just acting into a green screen, which is pretty fucking incredible. So to be clear, I should rephrase that, because explicitly there are no green screens in this movie. It is either 100% practical or hybrid of practical and CG, but in the same way that they've done before, there's tons of practical effects involved in this. And I think that helps a lot with the performance that Gosling gives throughout, because he does do an incredibly good job in the movie. But you got to go back to like, what? I'm into the 2010s now. Gangster Squad? Even Gangster Squad was kind of fun still.
Never saw that.
Where do I got to go to find a movie that I know that he was in? Yeah, I can't find one. There's plenty of movies that he has apparently been in that I don't know, that were kind of mid or bad, but The Notebook. I know The Notebook. Apparently that one is technically rotten, but I know people love it. So, I guess that is kind of a 50-50 kind of thing. But of all the movies that I've seen of his, and that's a not insignificant number, there's like 8 of them here. It's pretty good stuff. He's a good actor.
Have you ever seen an actor's full catalog? of every movie they've done?
Well, no, because there's so many of them that you just can't watch.
I think I have one or two actors, and it's such a
actors is hard.
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you got?
My actors?
Yeah.
I have seen. I'm just double checking this right now.
I got a couple I'm checking too.
Yeah, I think. 1 second here. I might eat crow. Okay. I'm wrong. I am one away from seeing every Marx Brothers movie.
That's a little bit easier, quote unquote, if they're not making movies anymore. I can see that.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm.
Yeah.
There's one movie they were apparently in as cameo roles that I have not seen.
Okay. That's fair. I can appreciate that.
Yeah. I know for a fact I've seen every Marx Brothers like headlining movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that just shows how much of a sick fuck I am. There are Marx Brothers movies. I'm going to show how much of a fucking nerd I am for this group. I know there's lost Marx Brothers movies, so obviously I can't see those, which ruins my 100 completion file. But I'll still save that.
I'm curious how close I am for Wes Anderson. Oh, he's got so many. See, that's the thing. He's got so many short films that are hard to get a hold of. Apparently, he did. What even is this? The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar and 3 more. What is this?
I saw that actually.
Well, I know The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, but what's the and 3 more? He just did 3 more Roald Dahl stories.
Yeah.
When the hell did this happen? That's sick as hell. I want to see this.
It's on Netflix. That's when it happened.
Gross.
Get cucked. You know, I would love to see Wes Anderson try to do Willy Wonka.
Yeah, I could see it.
He's such a detailed guy. Like, it would be interesting.
Yeah. You want to be really good? Have to do Willy Wonka? He brings back... No, okay, you can't do that anymore. So he brings back Johnny Depp.
What's the deal with Johnny Depp? I know, like, everybody hates him now because of Amber Heard. Is that correct?
Yes. So, yeah, he showed himself to be kind of manipulative, abusive piece of shit.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. He was found guilty in Britain by a British court and found not guilty in the US, I guess. But there's a lot of questions about the US case. So, yeah. I could see him doing well with that. But, right. Project Hail Mary.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Movie's good. I recommend it. It's a good movie. It's good science fiction. They, do really well with the visuals of it. Of course, are excellent. Andy Weir's thing is his incorporating of, I guess, what's supposed to be like more factual elements, less fictional in his science fiction. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He tries to verify everything that he puts in his books, and anything that can't be verified, he tries to get as close as we know. I do think, though, that the reason to see this movie is that it's because it's a fine movie, but more than anything, it just has Ryan Gosling being extremely charismatic and charming, and that's really fun to see for 2 hours.
Yeah.
He's an extremely, almost superhumanly likable person. So with that, let's talk about how Andy Weir's an idiot.
Andy Weir is a chud.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I don't know if I'd go so far as to call him a chud.
Okay.
I would not be surprised if he turned out to be one. If that makes sense.
I know you're listening to the podcast right now. If you would like to come defend your honor, please come consult with our booking agent.
Yeah. So a quote from Weir himself. I dislike social commentary. Like, I really hate it. When I'm reading a book, I just want to be entertained, not preached at by the author. Plus, it ruins the wonder of the story if I know the author has a political or social axe to grind. I no longer speculate about all possible outcomes of the story because I know for a fact that the universe of that book will conspire to ensure that the author's political agenda is validated. I hate that. I put no politics or social commentary into my stories at all. Anyone who thinks they see something like that is reading it into their own. I have no point to make, and I'm not trying to affect the reader's opinion on anything. My sole job is to entertain, and I stick to that. For instance, as a lifelong Star Trek fan, it's always bothered me that there's a presumed responsibility within Star Trek shows to talk about social issues. I just want to watch Romulans and the Federation shoot at each other.
My brother in Christ, you are not an artist. My brother in Christ, what the fuck are you doing in science fiction?
Question for Mr. Weir. Why are the Romulans and the Federation shooting at each other?
I don't know my Star Trek shit, but that sounds on point.
I don't either, but like that's the question, right? Yeah. Why is, you know, you posted the George Lucas meme, right? Why is there a trade blockade? Why does that matter? It's because that informs the actions that the characters are taking. To have him say this on the heels of his extremely successful adaptation of his book that is predicated on a world that the book and the movie don't happen unless there is a minimum amount of scientific funding, something that is explicitly being attacked by our government today, is frankly insulting. Funding and should be completely... It should be completely disqualifying for someone like Weir to be able to make this statement right now. But you know what would be really funny and really awkward for Andy?
What?
If it turned out that he pitched his own version of a Star Trek show to Paramount and was turned down.
No.
Quote, I don't like a lot of the new Trek. He as a person is a really nice guy, talking about executive producer Alex Kurtzman. But at the same time, those shows are shit. He's a nice guy, but they didn't accept my pitch. So, you know, fuck him.
You know, Andy, if I had any good faith towards you, I'd probably agree with you, but...
It really, really, really feels like... Maybe this is a good sign of him being... more chud adjacent than I had believed a few minutes ago, but it really feels like he got this whole bent thing because he's a big Star Trek fan and he wanted to do a Star Trek and he talked with the current Star Trek guy and he pitched him a Star Trek show and the Star Trek guy was like, thanks, but I don't think so. And he just decided that, I don't know, woke made that happen or not happen in this case.
You know, I would love to take Andy Weir and like watch Black Mirror with him and see what he says while watching that.
Yes, science fiction has historically, famously, never cared about politics.
Okay, science fiction inherently is kind of like fantasy. It is like adjacent to fantasy, right? Both genres.
Adjacent for sure, yes.
Yeah. I kind of consider them more cousins, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Both are inherently political genres. I don't think anybody who is an appreciator of the art can read fucking Lord of the Rings and not see the fucking commentary on war when it's literally written by a fucking World War I vet. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody, like, Doctor Who is literally funded by the British government. And these stories, these fantasies, I understand, Andy, you're trying to be a more pragmatic guy and put, like, the real facts in it. But the matter stands, you're still indulging in that realm of fucking fantasy. You have politics, you have opinions. Your own aforementioned apathy towards these subjects is a political statement.
Yep. It is impossible to make art and not make a political statement. The best way that I've heard it is that the conditions, having as an individual, the conditions to make art is inherently political.
You know what's kind of getting me grossed out by Andy a little bit right here?
Mm-hmm.
He's appealing off the success of an adaptation of his work.
Yep.
And I looked at the casting and like who was worked on this film.
Mm-hmm.
Project Hail Mary couldn't have gone any other way than be good. It's got too good of a pedigree. These are big names.
Yep. Like, and it's especially telling. I guess you can give him credit solely for the fact that he wrote a story that has 90% of it with a single character.
Yeah.
That fact alone, that it gives Ryan Gosling and then Miller and Lord something like 90% of the creative control in their hands alone, it's a huge part of it. I did want to mention. Yeah, go for it.
No, apparently Andy Weir is a Doctor Who fan, which I'm going to call him a hypocrite now.
Oh, yeah, he's a Star Trek fan too. He's either a hypocrite or he's an idiot. Probably both.
I truly think he's just playing it as a character.
I don't know.
He's got to say the most milquetoast shit.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
I was going to mention though, I have read The Martian, and in a similar way, he just happens to keep making these books about single people who are stuck somewhere as an individual, and they get casted with some of the most charismatic people in the world. How does this keep happening? It's very much the same way where, like, the book's not bad by any means. He obviously wrote the broad strokes of it, but there is a significant portion of it that only works because you have Matt Damon being extremely charismatic and charming.
Yeah. He makes good sci-fi for people who don't know good sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Good starter sci-fi.
Not sure. I don't know if I would quite go that far, but it is definitely very approachable. It makes me question his own perspective, right? Because he's like, oh, if you see this, then you're projecting on it. And if that's the case, it makes his stuff a lot worse.
Maybe. Having not engaged with his work, like his actual work, like I don't give a fuck about the movie. Like, I had never read his books. I know the books I like. I don't think his books would gel with me too much. And I think that's an inherent bias that I'm going to project immediately if I got that book in my hand.
For me, my perspective on it kind of starts and ends with space travel today is inherently political. If you're putting a person in space, we did that because of the Cold War, to wave our, economic and technological might around in the face of the Soviets. Explicitly political. And we stopped doing it because we didn't have to do that anymore.
Because we won the Cold War.
So we don't have to do space stuff anymore. That's why it started. That's why it stopped. And frankly, the reason it started again is because Trump wanted to do political stuff. If you're putting a person into space, that is inherently a political statement. And to try and pretend that it isn't is just really pathetic.
So I'm on the Wikipedia page for Project Hail Mary. There's fucking selective breeding in that book, which is weird.
Yes, but that's more about for like disease stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, because they find so the whole point, right? I mean, it's been out for like 3 weeks at this point. Who fucking cares? The whole point of it is that there is something in space that is causing suns to start dying, and our sun has started to die because of this, right? And they find whatever this thing is also going to Venus. So they send a probe up to Venus, it captures some of it, they bring it back. Now they're trying to figure out what it is. They figure out, oh, it's some sort of space amoeba thing that is doing something with the energy of the sun, and is, because it's absorbing so much of the sun's energy, is causing the sun to sort of die. They find a sun out there that seems to be infected but isn't dying. So they send this ship out to go figure out why that is. And it turns out the thing that's eating the suns is a bacteria. There's something in that solar system that is like a natural predator of that bacteria, and they decide to collect it and bring it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
I'm just imagining all that you just said as like a PowerPoint presentation. But I still got like Ryan Gosling's mugging me in front of the camera.
It's imagine Ryan Gosling, but he's doing the Legend of Zelda King YouTube poop Sega CD quick explanation thing. You know what I'm talking about?
I dig it.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Yeah. It's like that. Couple more movies to run through.
Yeah.
Two of them, really. The drama. Zendaya, Robert Pattinson, directed by Christopher Borgli. A happily engaged couple is put to the test when an unexpected turn sends their wedding week off the rails. I've been really enjoying Robert Pattinson's sort of like renaissance, I guess you could kind of call it now.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
This is the apotheosis of his renaissance. He's working with fucking Zendaya.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much more past that.
I mean, he's going to be in the next Dune movie. So. Which I guess technically also has Zendaya in it.
Yeah, I was about to say. Doesn't get much past that.
Yeah. So 77% from critics, 80% from audiences. We also had Exit 8, which I think technically we can call the best video game adaptation, Matt.
What?
It's based on the video game of the same name. A man trapped in an endless, sterile subway passage sets out to find Exit 8. The rules of his quest are simple. Do not overlook anything out of the ordinary. If you discover an anomaly, turn back immediately. If you don't, carry on. Then leave from Exit 8. But even a single oversight will send him back to the beginning. Will he ever reach his goal and escape this infinite corridor? This was like a streamer slot kind of game, maybe like 2 years ago. Because it's got jump scares and stuff in it.
Okay.
And they turned it into a real movie that apparently has a 95% from critics. I don't know how they did it.
Yeah. It's their big Hail Mary moment.
Apparently. So, with that, anything else? Because I believe that do be it.
No, I'm the Mr. Ryan, and I have no quirky way to end this.
And I'm Cairo, and I'm also a Schmo.
And I await the sun's inevitable death.